We are live.
Yeah,
Live,
mine
live,
doesn't
live.
say it yet.
We are
Okay.
live.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome everyone to another Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. My name is Greta Russo, and of course, this is Dr. Bryant. Dr. Bryant, please introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for listening in and following along. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian and I work in the airline industry. I work with Delta Airlines and I've been on staff with them for quite a few years right now, helping to review and revise the policies for animal transportation. And that's the main focus of what I do, but it's actually more than that. But that is, in a sense, a little blurb of what I always say. But during that time frame, I've learned that there are things that pet owners can do to better prepare their pets for air travel. So I developed When Pets Fly as a platform to share this more pet-centric travel education. And I started that back in 2020 during the pandemic, and been moving on since then. Initially, it was a Facebook group that I had, and now Greta joined me and helped me get a website. So my website is whenpets.com. We have social media presence with Instagram, Facebook, and on LinkedIn. And again, we share pet-centric travel education. And then we started doing these Facebook Live events, which are really actually one of Greta's ideas. We thought initially we were just going to be talking to pet owners about just pet travel, but it's kind of expanded beyond that. I say that the people that we have as guests here, in my opinion, are different stakeholders in the animal transportation industry, touching on different aspects of traveling with your pets. And nutrition, which we will be talking about today, nutrition and what they're eating is a very important part of them traveling, because when you travel with your pet, you can't just say they're going to go to McDonald's. You've got to make sure you have a consistent diet with them across the board. So it's important to think about stuff like that. But before we keep moving forward, let me stop. Greta, introduce yourself. And if there's any other topics you want to talk about before we introduce our guests, please feel free. But please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Greta Russo, and I work with Dr. Bryant in her marketing and messaging, and we really have been having a lot of fun for the past 4 years that I've been here. And October, we celebrate our 4-year anniversary of Facebook Lives, and we've had so many amazing people on here. Like you mentioned, we were starting off in one direction, and it just expanded, and it allowed not only for me to grow and learn and grow, but also to, I'm sure, everyone that's been following along. I'm so proud that now we are worldwide, and we are in 7 countries right now, so that's pretty exciting for us. We're just looking to make more of a reach and more of an impact, because being a pet parent is a worldwide privilege, and we are finding people enjoy as much as they love their animals. So if we're here, we're actually located in Atlanta, and so in the Southeast right now is facing a lot of hurricanes, and this is like the bulk season when they're coming, I think, on a weekly basis, maybe. But it's really impacting, especially Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, mostly. It goes up the East Coast as well, the remnants. I know where I am in Georgia, I get wild winds and rain and stuff as a part of the end of the hurricanes that come through. But, people who are closer to the bottom of the United States and over in that corner, they get hit pretty hard. So I just want to use this time to remind people, you definitely should have had your evacuation plan ready. This will be the time you'll put it into effect. We've talked about cats and dogs, and matter of fact, back in March, before hurricane season started, we had Dr. Doug Mader on our show, and that was our Facebook Live on March 14th. and he gave a phenomenal presentation on how to prepare for hurricane season, and that's for all types of animals. So, if you are in the Southeast region, definitely please go back and watch that episode so you can get all kinds of great tips, as well as procedures in helping the animals get used to the evacuation plan and tips on what to do when you're evacuating. You can find that episode on our site. It probably will be easier for you to go to our YouTube page. And again, you want to look for the March 14th episode with Dr. Doug Mader. And that's a pretty good one for you to review on. People always think about cats and dogs, maybe even the smaller animals they got to evacuate and put in the car. But, there's a few extra steps you have to do when evacuating with a horse. And so I have found that horse people really have this stuff down. But, I wanted to just share with everyone that with evacuating a horse, of course, you are most people are trying to get out of the state. So there's a lot of places in Georgia that will take in your horses. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that as well. So you want to look up different places that will receive your horse. And sometimes that takes a little bit more homework than just your cat or dog. Also, just as a reminder for, all animals, including your horse, you want to have a plan. You should have a plan. And you and your family, as well as your animals, should have practiced this plan. So that right now, when it needs to be put in place, the animal is not scared, because everyone's going to be scared with all the water. But at least when they have practiced the plan, they know, oh, this is something familiar. Definitely evacuate. For some reason, some people want to stay at home. That's never a good idea, because Mother Nature is not something you can predict. You won't know how the animals will react with the rise of water getting inside your house, getting inside the barn. The first instinct for any animal is to flee to safety. So then you're dealing with a whole nother mess after, they get away from you. With your plan, you always want to make sure that you have water and food on hand for your animals. Enough, they say, from anywhere from a 5-day to a 2-week supply. So you want to make sure that you have that. Hey, Eric, let me just bounce you out real quick.
I'm sorry. I did that. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize.
So let's see. And then also, lastly, if you can secure loose items so they don't float away and all that good stuff inside your house, put them in cabinets and closets and stuff like that. And plus, you don't want to get yourself hurt with, loose things bumping up against you and all that good stuff. Also, I wanted to make sure to point out, you want to make sure you have a gentle cleaner. Like, Dove is a great brand, and it cleans. It not only cleans, but does not harm the animals. So that's a good brand to have when cleaning off your animals, because when you get to a safe, dry place, you as well as the animals, you want to make sure that you clean yourselves very good, clean the animals very good. Because when floods happen, it's mixing things together. And a lot of times that's going to be sewage into everything else that everyone is floating in. So I just wanted to.
I'm sorry, did you say Dove or Dawn? I missed that. Was it Dove or Dawn?
I apologize. I don't know what came out my mouth, but I should have said Dawn.
Dove is not.
I use Dove, but you should use Dawn. Yes, yeah. So I meant Dawn. So thank you for correcting me on that. But that's all I wanted to really say.
Yeah, no,
Since we're in the
that's
thick
really,
of it.
thank you, because that's really good news to share and remind folks of that. I mean, and as you know, going up the East Coast right now is remnants and repercussions of Hurricane Erin. So that's going up the East Coast right now. Here in Atlanta, as you said, we've been getting rain and floods. I mean, every day it's raining, and then certain parts of town, you're lucky you're further out from the city, but downtown in Atlanta, it floods. And everything, poor water drainage down in the city, but it floods quickly. But yeah, you got to be mindful of that. And if you have to evacuate and you have pets, again, we've had folks here on our show that shared information to help you get prepared. And again, when you're in areas where you're not familiar with these natural disasters, that's when we need to be prepared, because we think, oh, I don't have to worry about it. It never happens here. But when it does, what are you going to do? So you have to plan for it. So again, we do have a resource to assist you with that. We even had, remember, Rochelle was here, even though she was talking about zoo animals. Those are large animals. And again, it's something that, everyone that has animals, pets, or whatever has to consider your pet or animal, like I said, during a natural disaster, flood, or what have you. So be prepared is the main thing.
Absolutely. And you brought up a great point, because it's not just where you live that you got to think about this. Some people, they end up traveling during the time of the year that these different natural disasters happen in the different rain areas. So if people are traveling here to to Atlanta, if they're traveling to New Orleans, Louisiana, if they're traveling to Alabama, Tuskegee, or any part of Florida, you have to keep in mind, if I'm traveling there, I need to be prepared for whatever natural disaster they have, because just because you're visiting doesn't mean, there's going to be a bubble around you and nothing will happen to you. You got to be prepared too, and know what to do with your pet. I know, unfortunately, like the Bahamas and those islands, it's the cheapest time of the year, but people actually do travel to the islands in September, October, and the Bahamas floods all the time. And it's like, you go there, well, okay, and if you bring your dog, what are you doing? Where are you going to go? So at least if you have some plan in place, you'll know what to do with your dog. Or a cat. I shouldn't leave out the cats, but definitely just, be mindful when you look up a destination to go to. Check and see what the weather is, and check and see what, natural disasters happen there, because you just don't want to go somewhere and be like, oh, there's a tsunami coming nearby. I didn't know.
Yeah, no. Just be prepared. And the good thing about it, this day and age, with the internet access and just everything that's available to us now, it's easy to figure out where you're traveling to, what the weather conditions are going to be like, and everything. So, and also, to be honest with you, it impacts our travel in general, because now we have a way to determine in advance, look, my flight might be delayed or canceled based upon weather. So we're in a good stage now where we can identify things quickly. And but again, the main thing behind what you were saying and stressing is be prepared.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's bring our friend in today, as we are going to talk with Eric Adams about keeping a healthy diet while you're traveling with your dog. So now, Eric, before we get to talking, I'm going to read your bio, and then we're going to go right into it. Okay?
Sure.
So Eric Adams is the founder and CEO of Dog and Whistle, a pet food company focused on fresh, sustainable nutrition by using upcycled ingredients to reduce waste and enhance pet wellness. Drawing from his background in culinary arts and restaurant management, Eric recognized an opportunity to bring his food expertise to the pet industry, crafting meals that prioritize health, sustainability, and transparency. Under his leadership, Dog and Whistle has secured investments from Generator expanded its presence in both retail and direct-to-consumer markets, and gained national recognition through platforms like Bet on Black, Times Square Features, and SXSW. I think that's South by Southwest.
Yeah, South by Southwest.
Awesome.
Eric's work champions circular economy principles, carbon neutral practices, and innovative solutions for pet nutrition. Passionate about reshaping the future of pet food, Eric is committed to reducing food system waste and creating a positive impact for pets and the planet. His mission-driven approach continues to inspire industry change while making sustainable pet nutrition accessible to pet parents everywhere. Everyone, please help me welcome Eric Adams from Dog and Whistle.
Thank you. How are you?
Thank you.
Oh,
Doing well. Thank you for having me,
Yeah,
team. I
that's
appreciate
good.
you.
Thank you. And
absolutely.
we met during Pet Connect. Like I said, I have to remember faces, but I remember put it all together. But yes, we met during Pet Connect. Didn't you present or something there? Were you in a competition with them? I'm trying to remind me. Were you?
Yeah. So I actually did the Best in Showcase. So I presented
Gotcha.
at the Best in Showcase last year. So I was able to bring upcycling on stage, which was super fun.
Excellent.
Now, I have to tell you, well, no, not tell you. I have to ask you, is upcycling a word you created? And if so, please explain to everybody what it means.
So upcycling is actually, I did not create that term, that word. So that word has already been created, but the practice, believe it or not, is something that was culturally instilled in me from the very beginning. And it's actually instilled in all of us, right? When we look at our cultures, we look at our ancestors, it's when you think about big picture, you're not throwing anything away, right? So my grandmother was born and raised in Cleveland, Mississippi. She learned how to make a meal from the rooter to the tutor, as people would say in the South, right? She would not throw anything away. So when you look at upcycling, that's pretty much what we're doing. We're taking that surplus ingredient or that ugly fruits and ugly vegetables that's non-consumable for humans, but instead of throwing it away, we can create a meal or a treat out of it, right? So our ancestors who didn't have the byproduct or had the byproduct, they had to create meals for their families. And that's essentially what we're doing at Dog and Whistle.
Okay, fantastic. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew exactly what you were talking about, and that it wasn't just a word you decided to throw into the new dictionary this year.
No.
Well,
it reminds me, to be honest with you, started saying using something that people don't feel that is either usable or something. It's funny because, well, it's not funny. It's interesting because it makes me think of there's a company out now that has vegetables and fruits that maybe are misshapen, and they sell them because they're still good products. They just don't meet what everyone aesthetically might say is pleasing, and that's what it should look like, and
correct.
Yeah.
And there's multiple apps that have that ability, right? Just a couple of name drops, like Too Good To Go is an app that you can use that will connect you with restaurants that have surpluses. And you as a human, right? It's ugly fruits and ugly vegetables, or they have an overabundance that you can actually go and purchase on a discounted price. It's really good food that they just choose not to throw away in that program. Imperfect Foods or Misfits Foods is the D2C subscription brand that actually sends over those ugly fruits and vegetables. So the upcycled world or the sustainability world, it's a big world. We're just trying to continue to bring it to the forefront. So there's a whole bunch of us in this industry, and I just decided to do it in pets.
That's nice.
That's very cool. I wanted to point out to everyone that you are an Elevate member. Last week we had LaShonda on the show, and she spoke about, I think, 4 different companies, and we brought you up as well then. But I just wanted to point out again today that you are an Elevate member, I think one of the founding members. and have been along
No,
that
not
journey?
not one of the founding members, but I did
Okay.
have the pleasure of pitching in their pitch competition last year at Super Zoo, which brought me into their ecosystem. So I cannot take credit for the founding members, but I am a huge advocate of Elevate. You know, everything that they're doing, that we're doing, just to not only bridge my support, but also knowledge within the space. You know, because at the end of the day, it's a huge market. There's a
Yep.
lot of money to be made, and I think there's a bunch of amazing brands within the Elevate ecosystem that can take advantage of it.
Absolutely. And just as a quick plug, you know, Elevate is really making some grand connections between the big box brands like Mars and, you know, Purina and companies like that, and bringing them to the members of Elevate and creating opportunities. And you don't find too many networking groups that can do that. You know, it's great when you can network within, nothing against that at all, but when you can have a reach and a connection to the brands that have been around for a lifetime and are really superpowers, that's a whole nother type of networking. And I definitely recommend anyone that is a biopic type of company, definitely make your way over to Elevate, check them out, sign up, be a member. So that's my plug for that. But you were just at Super Zoo this year, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I was actually an attendee, no booth. I just wanted to kind of walk around, get a gauge of everything, what's new in the market, you know, just see what the competitors are doing.
Right.
Oh.
So did it feel weird not presenting or being a part of it, or how does it feel just being an observer for this event?
Well, Dr. Bryant, I will say that with it being in my backyard, it was kind of a breath of fresh air because I was able to go and be an attendee,
Right.
and go for the day, show support, and then
Yeah.
go back home because it was actually the first week of school for my children. So
Mhm.
I had to go do fatherly duty. So I was actually glad not to have to present, not to pitch, you know, just connect with everyone, show support, and then go home and not have to worry about anything. But it was, you know, the conferences are amazing. They're amazing opportunities, but sometimes you just need that moment to just deactivate yourself. My social battery was at like 50% throughout the whole week. So I was just like, you know, take advantage of what I can do at that time and give the best maximum effort to support.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's dive into your company so that people know what you and Dog and Whistle are all about. Please tell us some more. What inspired you to start Dog and Whistle, and how does your culinary background influence your approach to pet nutrition?
Yeah, for sure. So my inspiration, honestly, was I was working for a casino a couple years back that had a sustainability program that wasn't as sustainable. They had different practices where they were sending foods to the different pig farms, things of that nature. That was non-consumable foods, but they were throwing away perfectly good food. So that's where that spark started. But I also wanted to tap into the world of feeding my pet fresher food, because there was always, you know, the world of the kibble, the world of the new D2C brands a couple of years ago, that I told myself, I was like, wait, I can do that, right? I feel that I can, with enough tools under my belt, enough knowledge, enough resources, I feel that I can kind of tap into that market and bring that culinary aspect of it where it's fun, and I'm able to use those teachings, that knowledge of identifying, you know, taste, smell, the look of it, and then capitalize off of that strength. And then also from a culinary standpoint as well, within Vegas I had direct relationships with distributors. So having those relationships with those distributors allow for a great segue to say, hey, I know what's happening with that surplus. allow for me to be a resource so we can have a great story for both brands, for Dog and Whistle, and for the city of Las Vegas.
That's fantastic. And I guess with you having the culinary background, that really, that provides you a resource, a depth of resource to know what foods are nutritionists, and what would make the best combination to be a healthy meal for dogs. And I wanted to ask, can people eat your food? Like, because it looks so good.
Listen, as you were saying that, I'm like plucking myself in the forehead because I said, dang, I should have just brought a bowl so I could eat it on screen. But yes, you can eat it. It is consumable for humans.
Human grade.
It's human grade, and our supplement is a chickpea-based supplement, so it's nothing to the point where it would do anything to make you sick for a human. But my philosophy is that if I can't eat it, then my dog will not eat it.
Oh, that's a great philosophy.
Wow.
I have a few pictures of your meals. So you have, unfortunately, it's just not showing the whole name. So we got, we'll call it Baja, Land and Sea, Sirloin, and Omega. So tell us what's in these. And those are great shots.
Thank you. So believe it or not, those are actually pictures that we have on DoorDash. I can talk about that a little bit later. But the Baja is going to be fresh lamb with blueberries, fresh lamb, blueberries, carrots, and then lentils. It's topped off with walnut oil, and then our K9 Complete supplement is mixed in with it to ensure that it meets all the requirements for the vitamins and nutrients. The Land and Sea is actually our surf and turf. So it's going to be sirloin beef, Atlantic salmon. We got a little bit of summer squash. We also have some lentils and then some peas. The sirloin, which is our grain-free option. So it's going to be sirloin beef, peas, carrots, and sweet potato. And then our Omega, which is our kind of our power play for pets, it's going to be Atlantic salmon, quinoa, a little bit of lentils, some apples, and then spinach, and then peanut butter. So those are kind of like the four of our big ticket items. I guess I'm glad that you put it up there.
But we got more.
Okay, there we go. We got more. Excellent. Gobble to you wobble is, I love saying that word because it's Thanksgiving in a bowl. So that's going to be quinoa, turkey breast, cranberries, sweet potatoes, and then, sweet potatoes, and then a little bit of spinach. And then our Rocket's meal, which is named after my dog, Rocket, which that little icon right on the top left, that's actually him. We did a cartoon version of him. That's another grain-free option. So it's going to be roasted pork, summer squash, apples, and spinach. Hen Solo, yes, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So we did, that's our only brown rice bowl, but it's brown rice, chicken, summer squash, broccoli, and then a little bit of apples, and then all of it they're topped off with walnut oil. So we don't use canola oil. We're trying to stay away from those pressed oils. So we're looking more towards walnut oil or sunflower oil, and then all have the K9 Complete supplement. And every meal that you see locally is available through DoorDash. So yes, we are on DoorDash. We have it available as a Friday night, as I would like to call it, Friday night meal that you want to, do something special for your pup and have it delivered to their house.
That's amazing. But I also want to point out, when you're traveling, because, one of the things that pet parents, I would think one of the harder things I got to plan is the meals for your dog in particular when you're traveling. And the fact that you're on DoorDash, oh, yes. Well, I'm guessing DoorDash for America. I guess you're not going to ship it over.
That's exciting that you're on DoorDash. I mean, but that's local just for Las Vegas, correct?
Yeah, it is local just for Las Vegas, but I'm
still blown away.
I'm
amazing.
sorry.
I'm just blown away. That's amazing. Just to think about it. That's so cool. I get to Las Vegas. I'm traveling with my dog. and I get to the hotel and I decide I'm going to do DoorDash, and then, hey, I can get DoorDash for my pet as well. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And with DoorDash, it does have a 5 mile radius. So it comes from our centralized commercial kitchen that we use to make our meals. But we've extended that offer on our website specifically. So if you go on the website, you can actually pre-order kind of your meals, and we can deliver it to you as well. So if you're visiting Las Vegas, you can order ahead of time and we can have it delivered to you. So the goal for the company, one of my big goals, is to make food easily accessible for you as a pet parent when you're visiting our city. But then also ensuring that customer service is just top notch, because that's the one thing that I think that's missing within our industry is good customer service.
So let me ask you then, so I go to your website, and let's say I'm going to be in Las Vegas. So I order 3 meals and they get delivered. But what if a person, they love the meal after they try it there and they come back to Georgia? Can someone anywhere in the United States still order your food and have it delivered?
Absolutely. So we would actually have it shipped. We just locked down some new logistics to do either a 2-day shipping. So it will be packed with dry ice. It's based off the size of your dog. So we are accommodating that size. So if you have a larger dog, then we will ship it. It only comes in increments of 2-week subscriptions though. But the first box is 50% off, so you can try it. We want to ensure that, have the ability to try it, continue to like it, because I do understand that dogs' palates do change, right? I think that's one of the things that, we want to be compassionate towards.
So when you say it comes in 2-week subscription, are you saying I can only order 2 weeks of food at a time?
So we would do an auto ship. So it would just be 2 weeks. It would just be a 2-week subscription that would be sent out every 2 weeks. But if you want to do one-offs, right? If you have a small dog, if you go to Treats and Toppers, the same meals are available as 8-ounce portions that we can just ship to you a la carte. So that you can order as many as you want, and you're not tied to a subscription.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Now, do you also ship out of the country?
No, not out of the country. We just do U.S. based, but we are looking at some options for our treats that we can have available outside of the country. Within the trade association, we have to be very mindful of the proteins options. So we're looking more towards vegetables, fruits and veggie treat options that we can ship outside of the U.S. But as of right now, that's on the back burner, right? That's on the next phase of what Dog and Muscle is going to be doing, which I can share a little bit. I just can't share a lot.
I understand completely. Well, like Dr. Bryant said, I'm just blown away that you're even on DoorDash. I think that's absolutely amazing. It's ingenious. And, I don't think you can find any other, at least healthy dog food on DoorDash.
No,
So
we're the only one, and believe it or not, it was an inspiration I took from a video that I was watching. So it's the ghost kitchen method, and this can be a method that can be emulated in any city. So if there's any restaurant partners that want to bring on a pet supplemental meal option, connect with me and we can get it shipped over to you, and they can sell it on DoorDash. So if it is in Georgia, we can have it available for you.
that's amazing. So you're inviting restaurants to sell your products on their DoorDash account for people's pets. That's pretty cool.
Yep.
You may have said it, and I probably missed it. I'm sorry, I had to run and give a message to someone really quickly in my house. As far as maintaining it, do they have to be refrigerated? Explain as far as maintaining it for someone traveling. If I have a Dog and Whistle food with me and I'm traveling for, say, a week, I'm going somewhere, how do I maintain it? Just help me out with that process.
Yeah, so and it's easier when at the household, because when you receive it, you would just place it directly in your freezer, and then you would put it in your fridge as needed using the FIFO method, first in, first out. You can either let it thaw out, or you can put it in the oven for roughly 5 to 10 minutes to let it heat up. We don't do any type of I would not suggest microwaving or putting it on a skillet, because it would kill the chickpea vitamins and minerals, nutrient that's in it. But if you're in transit and you're coming or you're visiting Las Vegas, one of the things that we will do is that we can speak with the hotel to make sure logistically that they can hold it in like one of their freezers or one of their coolers for you. So that way, when it's time to have it, they can just bring it to you, or you can go down and grab it. Because with most hotels now in Vegas, it's their their room service fridges that don't have any space. So we would just have that conversation prior to your arrival to see if they can hold it for you, and you can just get it as needed. But it would be refrigerated. So usually the average is about 3 days in terms of freshness, and the average stay would be roughly, I would say, 3 days. Now, if it's more than that, then we would keep it at our location and we would just bring it to you as you need it as well, which is no problem.
Okay.
So you're saying that the food holds for 3 days. After that, you should probably throw it away.
Oh, for sure. Yes. Think of it as leftovers, right? I think that with leftovers, you only get 72 hours. So don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Well, the good news about that, what you just said, is the fact that tells me there are no preservatives in this. Because there was, and I apologize, I forget the name of the company, but everybody knows them. There was a fresh food company that did big business in New York City. I mean, they were very popular. And the food was phenomenal. In a lot of cases, it even made the pets healthier. They went on Shark Tank and actually got picked up. So, everybody's thinking this is amazing. This will help them explode. And it did. But the problem was implemented. They put so much preservatives in the food so that it could stay for longer than the 3 days that you were talking about, in the shelves, or in the refrigerators, I should say, in the stores, that it changed the taste of the food. And someone who used to eat that food told me that they can't even feed it to their dog now. They won't eat it. It's not the same thing. And especially for those who ate that food for healthy reasons. So I'm so happy to hear that yours doesn't have all those preservatives in it, but that makes you deal with this food and catering to others in a different way.
Yeah, and it doesn't not only just reach our wet meals, our treats as well. Our treats are no preservatives, no artificials. So we dehydrate. Our process is dehydration to the point where the moisture is eradicated under a certain percentage. And with most treats, they use glycerin or the different coatings to have it shelf stable. Ours, for the most part, is once they're dehydrated, we vacuum seal it and then we ship it to you. And then once you open that bag, you just place it directly in the fridge, and it's good for up to 3 months. So we're looking logistically in terms of how to make it more shelf stable without poisoning our pets, because essentially what's happening is that the next best preservative is always coming, right? And it's just a emulation, or they're just taking away from cosmetics, which is unfortunate. So at the end of the day, how can we get away from rosemary extract? How can we get away from vegetable glycerin? How can we get away from coconut glycerin, things of that nature? And that's what my team and myself is constantly thinking on how to figure that part out.
That's amazing. One of the questions we have is how do you cater to dogs with different culinary needs? So
Yeah, so the dietary needs or sensitivities, our meals are primarily formulated, I would say for all stages of life. So I leave, honestly, that up to the pet parent in terms of to look at the guaranteed analysis, our ingredients, as well as we can provide a detailed report in terms of nutritional information that they can review. We just don't want to make any modifications to our meals just because it can be so inconsistent. So we have to stay consistent across the board. But if there is a situation to where if your pet doesn't like it, then return it to us and we'll refund your money with no questions asked. I think that was one of the biggest things too, is we want to ensure that we have that available because it can happen. Life happens. Pets do, have something that starts to come about, and I get it. But in terms of modifications, we can't really do modifications. Now, if there's something that really is a necessity or pet parent is really just, I want to try it, but we can't have this, then I would speak with ask those questions as well as looking at formulations. But it would only be like a 1 ingredient or 2 ingredient change, not a full meal change.
Well, I think that's great. I think about the dogs or cat, well, you don't do cats, but I think about the dogs that has food allergies and all these sensitivities, certain things they, well, with right now the stuff that's on the commercial market that they're exposed to, a lot of them are allergic to chicken and the kibbles and all these different things, and always say try a new protein, just something new that never really that's in the standard diet they give to pets, something new.
For sure.
Salmon, perfect.
Yep.
Tell me some other. Do you have any other like bisons or what are the?
No venison, no bison,
Okay.
no kangaroo, no rabbit, no conejo. Because we look for a consistent supply chain of those ingredients.
Okay.
That's why we kind of stick with those bases. I think it's just smart business, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because
But what you're offering though is still really a great choice, even if it's just salmon as the option. That's something that's not a normal standard diet for pets in general, and it does help with those that have those skin allergies and everything. They're showing up with skin allergies based upon what they're eating, so it's food allergy more in a sense. But yeah, I think that's great that you offer that. And I'm bad because I give my dog I'll give putting all these other things in their food. I say cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, and just try to beef it up that way to give some variety and everything. So I think it's important that you do that with them because sometimes they do need that variety and different textures.
I agree.
Textures and everything.
I agree. Think of us, right? We don't want to eat the same thing every single day, right? Yeah, and I tell people all the time in terms of kibble. I'm not kibble shaming, right? I know that the price point is approachable for a lot of families. Single meal, eating cereal every single day, and I cannot eat cereal every single day. So that's why I try to, definitely do my pet. He's on a fresh food diet. He's thriving, super thriving in my opinion. Yeah, no worries. Super thriving. So he's definitely doing amazing in that aspect. And he eats everything.
But you know what, though, as from a veterinary standpoint, it was always a concern. I know they do like variety. I do know that. But it always seemed as though that change in food for our pets, it always went from, say, if you change from certain, it was never, my example, based upon, and just suddenly change it cause diarrhea. So it gives you the impression that they need to stay consistent. Whatever they're using, they need consistency to keep routine, regularity, no dietary upsets or anything like that. So now you're saying with dog and whistle, they can get variety, but then my worry is it
for sure.
Will they have any
Yeah,
sense.
and that's a great point, Dr. Bryant. I think the thing that, with pet parents that make that change, it's not a safe transition, right? I think a lot of pet parents, and maybe some do, some don't, but they go from kibble on Monday and then they say, oh, there's new fresh pet wet food.
Yep.
Let's go on Tuesday and try it. You can't work that way, right? You have to ease them into that transition. That's usually what's happening. Or the pet parent thinks that they're a vet. I'm not a vet. I have to go and use my resources. I'm going to go to Costco and get some roasted chicken and this and no, don't do that. No. All the garlic and the onions and this and that can be very detrimental to their health. So I think it's just the transition is what's super important in terms of feeding that pet. Or how you feed that pet.
And your food is human grade, but I would imagine it's no seasoning, no extra salt, no garlic, no onions, it's straight.
No bueno, no. We don't add any seasoning to it. So when I eat it or when I try it, it's super bland. So definitely no seasoning that's added to it. And then when we do we do like a soft boil for our proteins, we actually keep that juice or that broth, and then we're looking at ways on how to create a new item that could be kind of repurposed or recirculated. Sorry, give me 1 second. I think I gotta get my charger. Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, today I'm sorry, I'm bouncing around today too. I don't know why I had my door open and then noise, and it's just too much going on for me today. Today is one of those days for me, Greta. I don't know. So folks, bear with us. It's just been a unusual day. I'll just say it's not the typical day for me.
No.
So forgive us.
I think our audience is used to us that.
I know we're a little over, but today I feel like I'm more extreme than usual with it. But I'm really happy. Eric is here from Dog and Whistle. I really, like I said, another thing I would always worry about, I can tell you a story, telling client, as a veterinarian, you tell the client that they need to feed their pet a bland diet. And honestly, it was just like, they don't understand what you mean bland diet. It's like no seasoning, no, nothing, no salt, pepper, no butter, bland diet, and so again, I love that with the companies and how they're developing over time. Now there's more options and availability to assist. So really having knowledge of you're just you're saying you can get your foods from Dog and Whistle mail to people, but you offer a great opportunity, because I was just saying that, Greta, I remember being in practice and telling folks that their pet needs a bland diet and getting them to understand bland diet. I mean, like no seasoning, nothing. Getting them to get that, it was a challenge. So I'm glad that there's more opportunities out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you see it, but it looks like Eric's frozen.
Yeah, it's scrolling around. Doing everything. We're having technical difficulties today, folks, so forgive us. But I do think, like I said, his options here as far as food is a great option for folks. No worries.
Absolutely.
No worries. We pop them up down below. There we go.
All right,
no worries.
Sorry about that.
That's no problem. That's technology. And
but no, as I was saying, I believe you offer now in the future, you have a great opportunity for veterinarians that maybe recommend to their the pet owners for their pets that potentially need their pet on a bland diet, something that they can eat that's really good and solid, protein based, really solid food. So I love that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And that's the goal too, Dr. Bryant, is just collaborating with those vets, because I think it's super important to understand the process of thinking, right, in terms of what type of vet that you are, because we have holistic vets, we have we have conventional vets. So it's like, okay, steadily having those conversations with the right people or the right vets to ensure that it meets their expectations, because With pet food's not going anywhere. We know that, right?
No.
Pets are, everyone's getting pets, and it's going to be more and more because there's less children that's being born, and it's more pets that's being brought into the household, right? So I think that's the opportunity on my end, is that building those relationships with vets and getting those different oppor- the optimism or the ideas on what they're thinking on how to make the pet healthier, or make the pet parent feel better about their purchase, or when they go to the vet, it's not, oh well, this and this and that, kind of preventive measurements as well.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely. Eric, I wanted to ask you, do you have, or are you planning to have, like an all veggie meal?
So all veggie meal, it's on the table. It is an option. Um, it's Yes. How about that? I will say yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
But it's still going to have like protein, I guess, plant protein.
Yeah, so it's going to be an alternative plant protein. It will have to emulate the protein compounds of your beef or chicken. We're looking at different options. Lentils is something that we already have in our meals that's super high in protein. Another protein source that's really cool is sorghum, from a plant-based protein. Um, and then we're looking at other options as well, but that's something in probably Q1 of next year that we may be looking to roll out. But I'm currently in the process of a rebrand for the company. So we're going to have our meals is going to stay the same, but we're looking at changing and having some fun for treats. So we're going to change that up a little bit.
That's very cool. Very cool. I also wanted to ask you, there was a point that Dr. Bryant brought up before with allergies. I was going to ask you, when dogs in particular, like if they're dealing with cancer, if they have allergies, if they have a sensitive stomach, do you recommend any of your current recipes for any of those things? Like if a dog has cancer, which one of your meals is best for him?
So I think that goes down the line of preventative medicine, in which it's hard to put the company in a box, or put the meals in a box like that. We strictly do more allergy based, right? So when someone says my dog's allergic to chicken, we have that alternative. Here's our beef or our salmon, or the common thing is like pancreatitis, right? So we're looking for something that's low glycemic. So nothing with heavy starches that we would have to recommend. But from a cancer standpoint, unfortunately, not.
Probably not. You know what? Just a nice solid diet for a patient with cancer. Just something solid and hearty for them to really pack with protein would be a big help, I would imagine. So something they like. You want it to be something they like. But again, it makes me go back to when I was thinking of practice, bland diet. Because I'd always say to folks, okay, your pet had vomiting and diarrhea. When they eat, you want to ingest something that's easy to digest, healthy for them, bland, and bland. But the fact that all of your items are, in a sense, bland, human grade, it's not as though you have to say this one in particular. It could be almost anything that you guys offer.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Do people have the option to ask you to create a specific menu for their pets, and that would be their subscription?
No, not at this moment. As the company gets larger, we may have that option available as a So eventually what I would like to have is a liaison for you as the customer, like build that network of liaisons within the dog and whistle company, where you have that go-to person, that if you have questions or if you want to build a meal, then we would go through that process. So that is the vision of the future for Dog and Whistle and how we want to do it, because we want to ensure that, we're meeting those needs. As of right now, it's not available, but that is something that hopefully I would love to achieve in the future.
Oh, that would be great. I asked because we actually have had on here twice a dog chef, and she makes custom meals for her clients. And if they have a certain ailment, she'll develop a whole a menu around that one dog, and knows to every week switch out different things. And like you, making everything, it's human grade foods and stuff like that. And she cooks everything fresh every week. So she does a set menu for the whole week, and then everybody orders from that. And then she'll have clients that have special needs, and she'll make them a different menu. So that's why I was asking. And if you like, just to be able to network with someone, we can definitely introduce you to them. She's in the Hamptons. She's called a Hampton Pet Chef. And so she purposely is trying to keep her company very small. But she's been doing this for, years, over 10 years. So she's doing very well. But she never wanted to become commercial. She always wanted to be a private chef.
Yeah, and I think like that's a personalized experience, right? For you as a pet parent within the centralized location, possibly in the Hamptons. I think with us being such a D2C brand and trying to capture that audience within the US globally, it's a little hard to maintain. It would have to be hard to maintain that, right? And especially from my background, where as I'm getting off this call, I'm going to be heading to the kitchen to start cooking myself, and I would rather ensure that we have the right amount of employees in play to correctly execute the plan, because if not, then it's just going to be a failure as soon as it starts. So I would never want to give that impression that we can get that going and accommodate it, and then you receive it and you're like, wait, this is somebody else's meal. Well, okay, let's make sure we got the right pieces in play, and then we can execute it.
That's good.
Yeah. Another thing you can add to your shopping list, not shopping list, offer list, is creating. I know you said you already create your own broth. I know there's a whole market for buying broth to put on, kibble or any other food. So that could be definitely something for, next year.
So I'm glad that is actually one thing I can share, which I'm super excited about. So that is going to be part of the plan for next year. So we are going to increase that collection. So how I was talking to Dr. Bryant earlier about what we do with the broth when we do our soft boil of our proteins. We're actually going to create. There's 2 SKUs that's going to be created. So stay tuned. But we're going to call them Jews. So as you think of like your Italian beefs back in Chicago, and it comes with the beef jus, I'm taking that culinary twist and having it more easily identifiable with you as a pet parent, where you see, chicken jus or chicken au jus or beef au jus, and then that's going to be gravy that we're going to create, or a jus that we're going to create that you can just literally lay on top of their current meal. And it's going to be that process of sustainability, upcycling, because we're not throwing that broth away. So that's another byproduct that we're creating within our products. So I'm actually excited to share that one. So.
Oh, great. And when can people expect to get that?
So we're working on packaging designing now. We have the formulations already done. That's going to be roughly Q1 of next year. That we would have that up and going. Our treats, that's going to be a Q4 rollout. I will say that the treats are going to be something that put a lot of thought behind it, because as pet parents are more and more on the go, we want to be on the go with you. So we want to make sure that, there's a treat that we create that you can easily have with you by your side. So you're not being that pet parent that's taking a couple of beef jerky or chicken jerky, putting it in a Ziploc bag and putting it in your pocket and then pulling it out at the pet park or in the supermarket or whatever the case may be. So we're being very innovative and thoughtful thinking when it comes to being a pet parent, especially nowadays.
That's great. So the treats will be good for pups on the go. I would think your meals would be, to get them ordered and sent and everything. So, I think you bring a really great, wholesome, healthy dietary solution for dogs on the go. So let me ask, are you going to ever think about doing a whole line for cats?
Yes. That has been a question that I receive a lot. So we are going to look at, being very aggressive in timeline, but we're going to look at having that down, something in play at least by Q4 of next year. That way we can hit both markets between dogs and cats. And even with the process of dehydrated foods or foods some type of food that can be dried, there's opportunity for other pets as well. So if you have a rabbit or if you have a guinea pig, that might be something too. But for right now, we're going to focus on dogs and then cats eventually.
Okay, fantastic.
I might have to change the name if you put cats in there and other animals. Then it's like, what are you going to do?
Well, listen, I've already created the Instagram tag Cat and Whistle just in case.
Okay.
I got that sitting in the tuck. So we're just gonna wait and see what happens. But like I said, there's gonna probably there's some big things coming on the horizon, and I'm super excited can't wait to announce it.
That's good. Well, I'm so happy we met actually at Pet Connect and our Lashonda connection, and I'm just so happy we met, and I'm glad you joined us today to share more about what you're doing and really share your idea behind it, because actually it's really good. I mean, why throw away foods that we could potentially be using and benefit your dogs right now in the meantime? Why not? So
exactly. Let's go back to table scraps, right? Make table scraps great again.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to get nice big hats for you to put out as merchandise.
Sorry, I thought that was funny.
I was laughing with you. Okay, is there any last information you want to share with anyone about your amazing company?
Oh, yes. Is this shameless plug time? Because I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, cool. Excellent. So we're going to go down the line. Please, we'd love for anyone that's watching to follow our handles at Dog and Whistle Co. on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And then also, if there are any pet parents that want to become shareholders of our company, we are actually live on WeFunder. So WeFunder on Dog and Whistle, we're raising additional funds to kind of help jumpstart this Q4 rebrand. And then endless webinars that I'm doing via LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to learn more about the company, please reach out to me, Eric Adams, not the mayor of New York. So you'll probably see the difference. And that's it. I love this, and I thank you to the When Pets Fly team for the invite.
Well, we thank you. We're very happy having you here today. It was a great opportunity to learn about what you're doing and everything. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Well, I definitely really enjoyed our conversation. I had so many questions lined up in the manners, and I never even got to them because I was so curious about so many other things. So we'll have to bring you back just to get back to the questions.
Let's go part two. Part two. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
So everyone, thank you so much for watching this live and meeting Eric Adams, not the mayor, of Dog and Whistle, and learning more about his products. Please, if you are into all natural human grade foods, make sure you go to dogandwhistle.com to check out everything they have to offer. And place your orders, and even go on to DoorDash if you're in the Las Vegas area. If you want to follow along in their journey, you definitely want to check them out on Instagram as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. So this is our latest Facebook Live with Eric Adams from Dog and Whistle. Dr. Bryant, would you like to say any last words before we leave?
Thank you for joining us today, and thank you, Eric, for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for creating this platform. It really means a lot.
Absolutely. And we look forward to having you back again. And anytime you have announcements with all this great stuff getting ready to roll out, please come back so that we can share it with everyone and they'll know about these great new things in Q1 and Q4 that they can take on their trips with their pets. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. For now, we say goodbye, but make sure you tune in next week, our last one for the month, because we have the new airline that just came out, and now I had a brain fart and they left me.
Retrieve Air. We're going to be with Retrieve Air, which is awesome.
Yep. So we are very excited about that. So everyone join us then, but until then, have a great weekend and a great rest of your week, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. I have pushed in stream.